Hi, welcome back to La Paz Bound. So in this video, I want to talk about some of the things that we are going to miss when we move from Tampa, Florida to La Paz, Mexico. Some of the things that we're not going to miss, and then a lifestyle change that we're going to have to make when we move. Okay, so one of the things that we're going to miss when we move is family. I have a sister, a brother-in-law, a nephew, and my mom and stepfather that live over in Clearwater, Florida. My husband, Don, he has his family, his brother, his sister-in-law, his nieces and nephews, and they live in the Midwest. And although we don't see them very often, we are going to miss them when we are in another country and not able to get to them as quickly as we can when we're in Tampa. And then with my family being in Clearwater, I'm actually with traffic, and that's one of the things on the list. With traffic, I'm about an hour to an hour and a half away from them. Even though we only live one county over, it's still quite a haul to go and see them. So I don't see my family as often as I would like to as well. But maybe when we move to La Paz and we come back for visits, those visits are going to be more centered around getting together and spending quality time together rather than just going over for something real quick and coming back. Maybe we can spend some quality time together when we move to La Paz. So this next one is really huge. So this one is music, specifically concerts. So my husband and I are huge lovers of music. We've been to so many concerts together, and we've been to concerts here and when we briefly lived in Connecticut. Some of the concerts that we've been to that are very memorable and that we cherish, we went to see, our first one was Cracker. I don't know if you've known that one, but that's the first concert that we ever went to. And we saw them at a small iconic Tampa venue. It doesn't hold very many people, and it has a restaurant that serves kind of Floridian Cajun food where you can get like gator tail. Some other concerts that we've been to are much grander scale, and they have been at our outdoor amphitheater. So there's a love-hate relationship with this amphitheater, and one of the things that we'll miss and won't miss actually, because this amphitheater in summertime, and that's usually when the concert events happen, is in the summertime. And so in those months of July, August, and September, where it is brutally hot and humid in Florida. Some of those events that we've seen, I mean, we went to Gwen Stefani. We did a meet and greet with Gwen Stefani, and I remember it being in July of 2016, and I had gotten my hair done, I was all made up, and we stood outside for 2 hours in the Florida heat and humidity in July, and by the time we got to take pictures with her, we were just melting. Everyone in line was melting. She was looking perfect and beautiful as always, and we just have these pictures where we're just drenched. So I won't miss the Florida amphitheater in those hot summer months, but I will miss going to the concerts there. We've seen Incubus a couple of times. We've seen the Police. We did a meet and greet with Les Claypool of Primus. We have gone to Raymond James Stadium and have gone to the U2 Joshua Tree experience. I call it an experience because that's what it was. It was amazing. And those are just some of those concerts that are very memorable for us that we are going to miss when we move to La Paz. There's some other concerts that while I was growing up and living in the Tampa Bay area, I was actually able to go and see. And these are very memorable for me. One of them was kind of an impromptu concert with Stone Temple Pilots in Scott Weiland, actually. And that was in the early 2000s. I've also been able to see the original Lollapalooza. I've been able to go see Depeche Mode and their Violator tour, which was awesome. I think it happened the day after I graduated high school. Pearl Jam. I've been able to see Pearl Jam at Janice Landing when they first came out in 1991, 92, and they started touring, and I paid $10 for the ticket. So those are some of the other experiences that I have had personally growing up in Florida. And so, as you can see, concerts are just a huge part of our life. And it is something that we are definitely going to miss when we move from Tampa, Florida to La Paz, Mexico. Okay, let's talk about the next one, which is, I think, more for my husband, but I've gotten kind of into lately, and that is American football. So we are Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans, no surprise there. We have gone to a couple of games. We went in December of 2021 when the weather was absolutely perfect. It had cooled down. It was kind of an afternoon, evening game, and Tom Brady was part of our team as well as Gronk. So we just had an amazing time with amazing seats. And at the very end, when they came running back into the tunnel, Mike Evans high-fived me. So it was a great experience. Fast forward to a couple weeks ago, we went to another game. This time we had different seats. We had seats in the end zone where the big pirate ship is. And it was exciting. They were great seats, but the weather in November can be so different than the weather in December. And so the weather this time a couple weeks ago was very hot, blazing hot. So much so that my husband and I had to get up out of our seats in the first quarter and to go seek shade because we were afraid that we were going to pass out. It was that hot. So we went and sought shade, and where we had to stand was against the side of a building, looking through a small window of where the game was being played. So we felt like that was not a great experience for us for being at a game. We still enjoyed going to it, but the experience just wasn't as great as the one when we went in December of 21. Okay, so let's move on to another one that we're going to miss when we move from Tampa to La Paz. And when I was asking my husband for his input on this video, we pretty much had the same list. So the next one is stores. So specifically grocery stores, Publix. It's a Florida chain. I know it's in other states, but it is centered in Florida here. So Publix has the most amazing fried chicken, in my husband's opinion. So he absolutely adores their fried chicken, and I know that he's going to miss that. So hopefully we'll be able to find something equivalent for him. But I've gotten pretty good at doing chicken wings in the air fryer, so hopefully that will help him a little bit with this. Another store, this one's for me, Trader Joe's. I am definitely going to miss Trader Joe's. I love the company. I love everything that they stand for. I just love their products. I love their prices too. Publix has gotten very expensive, whereas Trader Joe's is not as expensive. And some other ones include Whole Foods and Sprouts, and another one that we commonly call Target. Okay, so last on this list, and I'm sure this is not going to be an exhaustive list. I'm sure there's going to be other things that are going to come up that I'll mention in videos, but this last one is pretty huge for us, and that is Amazon Prime shipping. We're going to miss that. We know that there's equivalent things or kind of equivalent things in Mexico, but to be able to order something and to have it come overnight, in the morning, the next day, 2 days later, that's a convenience that we are definitely going to miss. We're going to miss the United Postal Service as well. And UPS. I found out that UPS does not ship to Mexico. So for international shipping, I think we're going to have to use FedEx and DHL. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But we are definitely going to miss the convenience of overnight shipping. So let's move on to some of the things that we are definitely not going to miss. One of the things is the weather here in Florida. Right now we're in a cooling down period where the weather is drier, less humid, and it's actually pleasant outside, but that only lasts for about 3 or 4 months out of the year. So we are definitely not going to miss those wet rainy, stormy afternoons that happen every summer, every afternoon. It starts, I would say, it could start as early as May, sometimes June, July, August, September. August and September are the absolute worst months. It's usually when kids are out of school and people come down here and they visit Disney in Orlando, and they are just the most worst months to visit Florida, in my opinion, because it's just so hot and so humid. So we are definitely not going to miss the humidity here. We will not miss the hurricanes, although I think La Paz does have hurricanes. And again, correct me in the comments if you want. We'll discuss it. Um, but we're definitely not going to miss these back-to-back hurricanes, especially that we had this year with Helene and then Milton, only 10 days apart. And they really devastated a lot of the area, a lot of the Tampa Bay area, Sarasota as well. So we are definitely not going to miss that. Another thing that we're not going to miss, I had to drop my car off today to get repaired, and the traffic was terrible. It has gotten so bad. There is a point in Tampa Bay where I-4 and 275 meet, and it's called Malfunction Junction for a reason. People crash their cars there. It is so slow to get through, and it doesn't matter the amount of millions of dollars into expanding that road. It still all comes down and congregates into a single lane and then branches out. So I don't know if this is ever going to be resolved, because this has been an issue since I remember, and I've lived here since 1983 with a brief amount of time spent in Connecticut. But I've lived here since 83, and I cannot remember a time when our roads were not being improved. And I think that the progress that we make in infrastructure is not keeping pace with the influx of people that are coming into the state. So I don't know if that will ever be resolved. What I would love to see is the double decker highways like you see in Miami and some parts of Texas. I think that might be helpful in controlling and making the traffic go a lot smoother in this area, but I just don't see that happening. So I'm definitely not going to miss traffic. American politics. Oh, we have felt this in this country for the last 8 years, or maybe even more. American politics are driving a wedge between families. I know that it has impacted our families. We don't share the same political views. And it comes up in conversations when you're together. And when you just want to spend quality time with your family, the politics get in the way, and it just divides our country, divides the nation, divides the families. And so we are looking forward to kind of escaping that and not having to deal so much with that anymore. Okay, so lastly, let's talk about the lifestyle change. Um, has to do with my car. I love my car, but I know that it's not practical for Mexico. I know it's not practical for the terrain, the potholes, the type of roads there. And I know that we're going to have to make a lifestyle change, and we're going to have to sell my vehicle and get something else. And our plan is to take a vehicle into Mexico. We're going to do more research on that. But the plan is to sell my car and to buy something a little bit older and more rugged that can handle the terrain. And I'm okay with that. I know that we are making this move for a better life. And I know that that is one of the things that I'm going to have to, do in order to ensure we do have a better life. We want a vehicle that isn't financed. We want a vehicle that is paid for, have the title in hand so that we can bring it into Mexico. So that is one of the things, the lifestyle changes that we're going to have to get used to. I'm sure there's going to be more lifestyle changes that will come up and that I will share with you. Okay, so those are some of the things that we're going to miss, some of the things we won't miss, and a little bit of a lifestyle change that I talked about. I hope that you like this video. I hope you like this content. Comment below if there's something that you're interested in and want to see. And remember to like and subscribe, and I'll keep bringing you more content. Thanks for watching.